Clive was found in a banana box in Romania. He was taken to a rescue shelter which was run by Eli charity, who are an amazing dog rescuing charity in Romania. So he was taken in with his brothers and sisters and looked after over in Romania until he was about 5 months old. And then he went onto the Happy Bus and made his journey over to the UK. The day we picked Clive up was just the most amazing day. I don't think I've been happier. He was just gorgeous. They did tell us he was going to be small, and he definitely wasn't. He was quite a big boy already. He had massive paws and a massive head, but we just fell completely in love with him straight away. And the charity Eli for Animals just do so much. It's amazing. So we took him home to meet his brand new sister Bonnie, who we also had from Battersea Dogs Home. And needless to say, she was pretty excited when she first met Clive for the first time. I think she thought he was just a house guest, so was really excited, and after a few days was probably like, oh, he's still here. But her baby brother arrived, and that was the start of Bonnie and Clive. He made himself at home. It was difficult for him at first. He had never been in a house before, so going on the sofa was new. And we had to teach him lots of things. He insisted on just laying by the window because he didn't know what to do with the sofa and didn't know what to do with a basket. He'd never had one. And it was a challenge. Going up the stairs was a challenge. We had to teach him how to go downstairs. As you can see, it was tricky. He just wasn't sure, got fascinated by things on the way down, like, what is this? Is this a mirror? Oh, I'm a bit tired. Yep, that's a mirror. I'm going to look at myself in the mirror, and I'll probably go downstairs afterwards. So it was all hard for him, bless him. Everything was a massive, massive learning curve for Clive. Going upstairs was as much of a challenge, which Bonnie tried to help him with. And he got there eventually. It was tricky. We had to entice him up, but he got there. First night he slept under the TV shelf. He had a lovely basket, but it took him a while. Soon he was really, really comfy and making the most of all his cuddles with his sister Bonnie. He became really, really affectionate. You could tell he was just such a loving boy. He just really wanted cuddles all the time, and he'd come into the bed after he finally got off the windowsill or from under the TV shelf and would just be so cuddly. They do say that rescues can tell when they've been rescued, and with Clive, I really do think that was the case. He was incredibly playful as well. He just wanted to play all the time with Bonnie, run all around, and Bonnie's slightly older, so this definitely gave her a new lease of life. She was just thrilled to have a playmate, even though she could be bossy with him and could sometimes be a bit jealous. He wanted all the cuddles, and she was sometimes there like, what about me? I was here first. But he definitely looked to her, he learned from her, he followed her everywhere. The bond was just incredible. He never had a mother. He was taken from his mother so young and put in that banana box and abandoned, and he just really needed that mother figure. He was just desperate for that. He was a clumsy thing as well. As his legs got longer, he kind of became more and more of a klutz. And we would joke that he was part kangaroo because he'd just kind of do these crazy Tigger moves and bounce around and jump around. And he became cheeky as well. He would eat our shoes, he would eat kitchen roll, he would chew things up, as most puppies do. But he was playful through and through. He just loved life. He was such a happy, happy soul. He still is such a happy, happy soul. And he just brought so much joy to us. He always had his attachment with the window. He'd take his cuddly toys up to the window, his favourite camel, and show him out and show him the outside world. And he would just jump and play. He was a crazy little puppy. And those legs just kept on growing. They grew and they grew and they grew just longer and longer. And we were like, is this part dog, part gazelle? He seems to be really, really long-legged. You know, he's starting to resemble some sort of kind of African wild dog or crazy gazelle. And he did just get bigger and bigger. I mean, he wasn't huge, but, you know, the guys at the shelter said, yeah, he'll be terrier size. He'll be, you know, the same size as Bonnie. And these legs, he was just like Giselle, you know, the supermodel, just like insane. And my goodness, when he ran, he just ran. You know, people in the park and the forest would stop and stare. He'd get quite an audience because he would just run like nothing you've seen. It was just insane. He would just go wild. And the thing with Clive was he just made people laugh. He made people stop and smile, and his joy is so infectious. He's just an absolute wild thing. He just loves to run so much, and those legs just propel him forward. But there's always time for some downtime with Bonnie as well, and that bond they have just grew and grew. And it's been going on for 3 years that we've had Clive now, and they're such a pair. They are. Every day is like a new opportunity for Clive to run around and make new friends, and run around with friends' kids who think he's crazy and wild as well. And, you know, he just seems to be training for the Olympics the whole time to see how high he can jump and how far he can go. It's just incredible. And the fact he came from such a difficult beginning where people are just, well, not all people, but so many people are incredibly cruel to animals. And, you know, Romania is known for its kill shelters, and for him to be abandoned in a box and just have such a hard start, he really lucked out when Eli for Animals took him into the shelter. And I just look at him running around now and making all these friends with so many amazing dogs, and huge dogs, Great Danes and other dogs, and people stopping and staring at him. And I just think your life is so different now, and you're just living your best life. And, you know, to get sentimental, I think we can all learn, you know, to have this joy. And often when I put photos of Clive on social media, I'll hashtag it with "Be More Clive," because I think we could all do with being a bit more Clive, and just having that craziness and having that wild streak to just kind of just go for it. And it just fills all of our hearts with joy that he had this really hard start, and now he's this long-legged Tigger, crazy wild dog who just runs around the mean streets of Tunbridge Wells, just having the most fun and making friends and just really living his best life. And Clive was actually one of our dogs of honour, along with Bonnie, at our wedding last summer. So Clive was there in his bow tie and his tux and dragged my bridesmaid Becky down the aisle, and they just made the day amazing. I knew that when Jason and I got married that he had to be there and Bonnie had to be there. They're such a huge part of our lives. You know, they make us so happy. They make us smile so much. And we just wanted to share the joy of that day. If you happen to be in the UK, in the southeast of England, you may find him running around a field near you or a forest near you, bombing through lakes, bombing through streams with these ever-growing long limbs, just bombing around. For anyone thinking about rescuing a dog from another country, Romania, Greece, Cyprus, Spain, you know, any multitude of countries where there are so many dogs in desperate need of help, I would just say with my whole heart to go for it, and to give these beautiful dogs a chance at a different life, a better life, a home, you know, a sofa, their own toys, their own beds, just to see them grow and just to see how they develop. And yes, we have had struggles with Clive. He has needed training, he has needed socialisation, you know, classes, and at first he was, you know, nervous of other people, of other dogs, men especially, and It has been a long road to get to where he is now, but we were invested in him. We wanted him to have this great life. We knew he was troubled. He'd come from a difficult start, but for us, it was just so worth it to get him that help, get him that training. The people at Eli were amazingly supportive with giving us, literature to read, and we had a lovely lady come and do a home visit when he first came, so his transition was fantastic. And for anyone thinking of getting a rescue dog, I would just say, do adopt, don't shop. There are so many dogs out there that you could give the most amazing, loving home to, and it's just so worth it. Just so worth it to see how they can develop and to watch their journey and to just see what amazing souls they can become and to really support them throughout that. And they do really know they've been rescued, and that love that they give you back is irreplaceable. It's just amazing. It just brings so much joy, and Clive has just brought so much joy to us, and just watching those legs grow and grow and celebrating each new birthday with longer legs and just watching this funny little double act, Bonnie and Clive, it just is, it's just great for the soul. People always say, you've really changed his life, but the thing is, he's really changed our lives as well.